But so what? So Mary and Joseph went on a journey. So they walked the whole way. So it might have taken a week. So it was dangerous. So what? Why does it matter? And why should it matter to me? Gang, this is more than just interesting history. This is God at work. Like I mentioned earlier, Mary and Joseph didn't plan to go on this trip. They didn't want to spend a week hiking in the Judean wilderness in Mary's 9th month of pregnancy. Like any excited young parents, their plan was to be with family, resting, getting the nursery finished, and waiting for the baby to arrive. Their plan was to give birth to their first child at Nazareth Children's Hospital, 9th floor, Nazareth Natal. They wanted to give this miracle baby the best start they possibly could, like any young parents would. But then that stupid emperor made this stupid decree and forced them to go on this stupid journey. At least that's the way it looked from a human standpoint. I mean, everyone had to go to his hometown to register. Caesar said so. That's why Joseph thought he was going to Bethlehem. But what Joseph didn't realize at the time was God was actually the one who was taking him and Mary on this journey. You see, long before Caesar Augustus issued his decree, God had issued a promise. A promise that one day the long-awaited Messiah would be born in a small, obscure village in the middle of nowhere, Bethlehem of Judea. We find the prophecy in Micah 5:2. But you, Bethlehem Ephratah, though you are small among the clans of Judah, out of you will come for me one who will be ruler over Israel, whose origins are from old, from ancient times. Now, tell me how that prophecy of the birth of Jesus in Bethlehem could possibly be fulfilled since Mary was living 80 miles north in Nazareth. You see, it was no coincidence that Roman administrators decided to conduct a census which sent thousands throughout the country back to their ancestral hometowns. God had a plan all along. Joseph may not even have been aware of the prophecy, who knows, but God's plan all along was for the promised Messiah, his son, to be born in Bethlehem, the town that King David was born in, Joseph's ancestral hometown, a humble place that great kings come from. For all Joseph knew, he thought he was going back to Bethlehem to register for a census, but God had another reason. He was taking Mary and Joseph back to Bethlehem to fulfill a promise to enter this world, to redeem it. Gang, here's the point. Sometimes God sends us on an unexpected journey because he's up to something important in our lives. You may be on a journey right now that God has you on, and you don't even realize that God has you on a journey. You think that you're on the journey you're on for some other reason, but the real reason that you're on the journey you're on is because God is up to something big in your life. You think the reason that you're going to college is to become a nurse, but God has you on that journey for another reason. You think the reason that your boss is sending you to Chicago this weekend is so that you can seal the deal, but God has you on that journey for another reason. You think the reason that you're moving out east is to be closer to family, but God has you on that journey for another reason. You think the reason you lost your job back then was because the economy was bad, but God has you on that journey for another reason. You think the reason that your parents' health is failing is because they are getting older, but God has you on that journey for another reason. You think the reason you're going to AA is because the judge ordered it, but God has you on that road to recovery for another reason. I don't know what journey you're on right now, but I know that God has a reason for it. Maybe one that you're not even aware of. Maybe one that you will never be aware of. But he has you on that journey because he's up to something big. He's fulfilling a promise. He's making a way. He's accomplishing his redemptive plan in this world. And the journey you are on is helping to make that happen in one small but significant way or another. You know what I found? I found that unexpected journeys are usually inconvenient journeys. Have you found that to be true? They usually happen at the worst possible times, and they usually make no sense to us at all. But God always has a plan. In Isaiah 55:9, God says, "As the heavens are higher than the earth, so my ways are higher than your ways, and my thoughts are higher than your thoughts." The way that we do things is not usually the way that God does things. I mean, if it was up to me, I would have had Mary move to Bethlehem right after she found out that she was pregnant. Seems more convenient, right? I mean, after all, wouldn't it have made more sense for Mary to have stayed with her cousin Elizabeth, who actually lived near Bethlehem, after she went to visit her earlier on in her pregnancy? That way, Mary's journey to Bethlehem wouldn't have had to have been as long. Seems like an easier way to fulfill the prophecy to me. But God's ways are higher than our ways. His thoughts are higher than our thoughts. Why does God always seem to send us on inconvenient and unexpected journeys when we're already 9 months pregnant and irritable and uncomfortable and tired and anxious? Why does God do that? Because he's far more concerned with our character than he is with our comfort. That may surprise you, but God is far more interested in your character than he is in your comfort. God is doing something in your life, something big, something important, something that requires character. And it's usually the inconvenient, uncomfortable journeys that accomplish the most when it comes to developing character. All we get from a cakewalk is a sugar high and extra pounds. God has something better in mind for us. So in his wisdom, he often takes us down the difficult roads from time to time.
Thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to our channel to stay up to date on all our upcoming videos. We hope you'll share this video with your family and friends, and tune in every Sunday at our website to watch our services live. Thanks again for watching, and have a great day.